Everything on the back end of your profile matters, but you probably don't know what you should do. All I'm trying to tell you is all of it matters, all of it. The businesses that pull every relevant lever in the proper and complete way perform better. All right, guys, we're going to get started here. So thank you for joining us. My name is Christian Jones. I'm the CEO of TaxProMarketer, and today's webinar that we're going to go through is going to cover how to do awesome on Google. I mean, that's kind of it. I just want to make sure by the end of this webinar, you understand the ins and outs of getting your business to rank on the top page of Google, which is to say, page one. So the thing behind the thing with today's content is, do you want more clients? Are you looking to grow your firm? Are you looking to get found by more of a certain type of client? Whatever it is that you're going for, if you have growth in mind for your business, well, I mean, dang, a lot of your clients, or let me say this, a lot of your prospective clients, they're using Google to try and find someone to work with. They're trying to find an accountant, a CPA, a tax preparer, a tax planner. So that's why we're going to talk about Google. Google is the 800-pound gorilla in the room as it relates to digital marketing. Just in general, it's not everything. And I'm going to show you a full picture of everything that we do at TaxProMarketer just to give you some ideas of what a healthy online marketing ecosystem looks like. It's not just Google. It's not just clicks and traffic. But if your online marketing doesn't first get clicks and traffic and visibility, nothing else you do matters. So that's why we're talking about this today with you guys. We're talking about this because if you at all are wanting to grow, well, heck, there's a lot of ways to get new clients. You could post on LinkedIn or Facebook. You could go to a Chamber of Commerce event. You could stand on the street and hold flyers out and pass them out. But obviously, some of those are more effective than others. Do all the things that get you new clients, but also what are the most efficient, effective ways to get found by new clients? And I would posit to you at the beginning that Google is the best way to get found by new clients. And so that's what we're talking about today. Before we get into it, just make sure, can you guys see the slides? Can you hear me okay? Go to the chat, go to the Q&A, make sure that you're seeing everything. Let me just go forward a slide or two. If you get any technical problems, please just let me know, but I'm swapping between my slides just to make sure you guys are seeing that. You can hear me. Tell me where you're chiming in from. Tell me where you're located. I'd love to know from around the country where people are today. So anyways, thanks. I'm seeing a couple of yeses. Boca Raton. Hey, it's probably nicer down there than it is where I am right now. So lucky you. Glad you're down in Florida. Again, Christian Jones. I'm the CEO of TaxProMarketer. We've been around for 15 years as a business, so we're not new. We've been exclusively serving the tax and accounting space for those 15 years, and we are in business to help our clients grow through relational marketing. So even that relational word tips you off that it's more than just clicks and traffic. It is email, it's follow-up, it's cross-selling, it's helping our clients get more referrals, but it's also getting found by new people that don't know who you are. I also, on the side, I have a retail fireworks business that I run. So every summer I get off of the computer and I go out and sweat with a bunch of teenagers that I hire from like local high schools and nonprofits, and we sell bombs legally to the general public. And so that's a lot of fun. And I also have 3 awesome kiddos and a beautiful wife, and here they are. I think I've got a picture of them. So that's Christiana, my baby Elsa. She's on the left. Jane with that little funny smiles on the right. And then Mr. Squints is Hudson there in the middle. That's actually a picture from last year. So that's where I'm at when I'm not helping people with digital marketing. Life is crazy and full, but a lot of fun. And I'm super thankful. I wish I had a picture of our TaxProMarketer team because we got a lot of good people at our team as well. You can check out the photo on our site of everyone involved in our company. But here's the question we solve for our clients. And here's the question I'm going to kind of solve for you today It's not everything, but this is a component. How do you own your local online marketplace? And so that phrasing even brings up a couple of thoughts. Local. Let's focus on that word for just a second. What I'm going to talk to you about today is first and foremost local. Most of the clients that we work with can serve a customer anywhere. They're not constrained to their local market in terms of what's legally allowed, for them to practice. We have a lot of EAs and CPAs and, of course, other accreditations that are more than welcome to work with people from any state, multiple services, whatever, right? I get that. I get that in our space. State borders still matter, but they just are mattering less and less and less. And a lot of people come to TaxProMarketer and say something to the effect of, I want to rank across the whole country. And I just want to start out by saying, yeah, but that's not how it works. So you can get traffic from across the country. We can do advertising. That's another chat for another day. We actually have a webinar on advertising coming up, I think within a month. So keep an eye out for that webinar. If you want to learn about paid advertising, which gives you a lot of flexibility, but one of those flexibility points of ads is there's no geographic borders. So that's one thing to consider. But when it comes to what I'm going to talk to you about today, Google sees you as local. There's lots of local businesses and categories of local businesses on Google. Electricians, plumbers, restaurants. When you type in a search for a restaurant, Google thinks that you want to go somewhere around your neighborhood. So if I'm in Kansas City, which I am, and I type in restaurant, the best restaurant in the world might be in New York City, but I'm not going to see that as a search result, am I? Now, you intuitively understand this because you see this every day when you engage with Google, but it's just one of those things that is kind of like an aha moment. The CPA, tax, accounting, bookkeeping, tax resolution, anything in our industry, whatever it is you're trying to do in your practice, Google sees you as a local business. And so we play by the local business rules. There's always exceptions, but this is the 99 out of 100 of you, 999 out of 1,000 of you. It's really high that people we work with and talk to, you are going to show up best in your backyard when you play the game right. So what I'm trying to start with is just to say, that's the game. The game we're talking about today is in your local market, ranking for key phrases on page 1 of Google, like best CPA near me, best tax planner near me, best bookkeeping service, or whatever it might be. So whatever keywords you want to show up for without having to pay for that traffic, again, that's an advertising campaign. This is free. This is free traffic. So it's not an accident who shows up on page 1 of Google. Maybe that's another aha moment for you right now. I'm going to tell you how to do that, but it's not an accident. It is intentional. Google is God, are they like a trillions of dollar company right now? It's certainly billions. They are a very powerful company. And the first thing that they were great at, like Google owns YouTube now, Google has lots of different parts of their business model, but it was a search algorithm, and it still is. Their search algorithm is why we use Google. It's powerful. And there's different algorithms for different things. There's a local business search algorithm. So who shows up on page 1 is not an accident. But our space, the tax and accounting space, is littered with people who don't know how to show up on page 1. It is an accident in a lot of cases who shows up. No one's trying to show up on page 1, but someone has to. So Google was factoring in whatever, 1 or 2 of the CPAs or accountants or tax planners are doing in their given market to determine rank, which is to say, no one's doing everything they should do. Hardly anyone is putting a robust marketing plan in place, especially for ranking on Google. So that's today. So what that is if at any point you want to talk about how to get more leads, how to keep this conversation going, talk about ads, talk about email marketing, talk about anything. It's a free chat with myself or one of our team members. I've got a couple other people that do those calls that are very well trained and have a level of expertise that they'd be glad to share with you and just get to know you and your firm. So if you are trying to follow up on some of the content today, learn more about what we do, get help, get more leads, that's what we're here for. We're here to help. And so part of it is just providing this webinar today to try and move this conversation forward for you guys so that you know more about how to do this stuff. Okay. Oh, and if you go and get a call with us, we'll give you a free report of your existing online marketing presence. How's your website rank? What are the things for SEO? Hey, and who knows what SEO is? Let me just ask that question, and any brave soul, what does SEO stand for? Because that's what we're going to be talking about today. Does anyone know? Search engine optimization. Great job. Yes, search engine optimization. So we've got some people that are at least conversant with this topic, which is great. But I will show you the existing SEO of your company's website, your performance and security, keyword usage, ranking on page 1, other factors that you might be failing or passing. That's a part of this chat on TaxPro Leads. Okay, so TaxProMarketer believes in an online marketing relationship journey. So this is, again, philosophical. Today, we're going to talk about awareness, getting visible. That's a part of SEO, or that is SEO. SEO is optimizing your business for the search engine so that you get found by more people, get more clicks, traffic, calls, form submissions, lead generation, all that jazz. That's today. But it doesn't stop there, or it shouldn't stop there. For a lot of people, it does. For a lot of people, it ends, if it starts at all, with just getting visible. So here's the question. What happens if you get a lead? I might even say from anywhere, but let's just say from digital marketing, online marketing of any type, Facebook, Google, your website, LinkedIn, I don't know. If you get a lead, what happens? Do you have a means that works to engage and get those leads to subscribe, to convert them and get them on a call that's hopefully pre-qualified, and then ascend them from one service to others that you offer? That's a part of the journey. Today, again, is just awareness. But I wanted to name this for you because this is healthy online marketing. One of the things that I commonly run into is some of you might be getting traffic right now. Some of you might not be getting any. But for whether you're getting traffic or not, you have to ask yourself the question, what comes next? And if right now you're getting traffic, but have no good follow-up to nurture and engage that lead, you're basically hoping for lightning in a bottle. You're hoping for some almost e-com-like transaction to happen with your leads and your services. If you're selling a widget on Amazon, that's fine. Get traffic, click to buy. Yeah, send some emails then too. Nurture within an e-com space is still relevant, but you're a service-based business. If you're not nurturing your leads, or if you're not set up to nurture your leads, you got to think about that. So we want traffic today, but we got to think about the downstream effects of your online marketing when you get that traffic, right? What do they get from you, if anything, once they give you their information or call you? But today's the awareness stage. And so the goal of the awareness stage is to identify your target prospects, get them to consume your content or call your firm. I want them to find you and not someone else and do something. Consume content, know that you're a good fit for them. Understand that your solutions with their problems are aligned, right? That's the awareness stage, is alignment. And part of it's just being visible. We want to generate traffic, okay? Generating traffic is what we're trying to primarily do in this stage. And so when we talk about online marketing with customers that aren't working with us yet, that's one of my first questions I ask them. Do you have a traffic problem or a conversion problem, or both? Almost everyone has a traffic problem. So you might have great email follow-up, a great email nurture campaign in place, but you're not getting any traffic, so it doesn't really matter. Of course, as I just mentioned, you probably don't have a great follow-up conversion sequence or campaign in place. We can fix that too. But the upstream problem is simply traffic. There's lots of ways to get traffic. You could get traffic from a social media profile, from advertising, pay-per-click advertising, YouTube advertising, Facebook advertising. There's lots of different ways to advertise. We tend to focus on pay-per-click advertising for the people we do ads for. But today is not going to talk about those platforms and strategies. Today, we're going to talk about two things: local listings and what we're calling the search engines, which is vague, right? These are just our terms, and I'm not saying these are industry terms, but for our purposes, when we present to the tax and accounting space, local listings and ranking for the search engines, which is more to say like your website ranking, that's what we're aiming at today. Okay, so we talked about the online marketing relationship journey. That's one way to look at online marketing. It's relational. It's a journey. It's not just clicks and traffic. It's a process, right? But here's the components, or at least most of the components. Our company, we believe in this digital dominance method. These are different buckets that you've got to address from an online marketing standpoint in your business to accomplish the goals of awareness, engagement, conversion, and ascension. So to put people through that relational journey, you've got to put these kind of tactical things in place: SEO, advertising, local listings, lead qualification and follow-up, client prospect email nurture, social media management, cross-selling and client ascension. And I'd also add the systems to help you scale, but like also having a sales pipeline and proposals and invoicing and CRM. That's something else we offer too. But that's all of this is a part of our digital dominance method. Today, we're only talking about SEO and local listings. So all that to say, this is a more holistic look at what we think digital marketing looks like when done well. It's all of these things, not just traffic. There are 3 places to show up on Google on page 1. You can show up in the ad section. So you can pay to be on the very top. That's an ad. You can show up in what we call the map section, and you can show up beneath the map section with your website. So here's what that looks like. I've got an ad section up top, a map section where 3 businesses show up, and then I've got websites, okay? There's more than one algorithm going at play with Google on page 1. It's a lot of the same factors. They have different priority or weight or importance. The various factors matter differently depending on what section we're looking at. I'm going to give you 3 big things that you can do in each section, or at least 3 concepts that I think you should know about each section so that you can improve. That's the whole point of today, is to help you improve your rank. We do this for our clients. If you work with me, this is my problem. I'll fix it for you. We'll make it happen. But if you just want to know how this works, that's what I'm going to try and tackle next. So here's a factor or factors algorithmically on Google to rank, again, this SEO websites links section. It's beneath the map. Here's the factors. I'm going to just talk about like the first couple. On page SEO elements is the first algorithmic factor. The back end of your website matters more than the front end does. They both matter. I shouldn't say it that way. They both matter, because I'm about to tell you how the front end matters too. But what I'm trying to get at here is that Squarespace, Wix, and other website builders, right? Maybe you know about those platforms, maybe you don't. Golly, it's just easy in the current day and age we live in, the current digital age and internet age that we're currently occupying. It's not hard to build a good-looking website. It's just not. It's not hard to build a website that looks good. It's just not necessarily going to be powerful. So that's what you're after with your website: power first. Your website should have 2 jobs at a minimum. And I'll talk about a third job. I don't know why I'm using 2 different hands. Let's just go with this. Maybe there's 3 jobs, but let's talk about 2 of them. Your website needs to get found on Google, which is to say it needs to generate traffic, and it needs to convert leads that get to your website. We'll talk about both of those today. But that relates to the back end of your site. And Squarespace and Wix, while they're easy website builders to make a beautiful website, they've made it easy to build a website, but stripped out some of the more complicated but powerful strategies that a site built on WordPress offers you. WordPress is where 50% of the top 100,000 websites on the internet are built on WordPress. Out of the top 100,000 websites in terms of traffic and engagement, 50% are on WordPress. Why? It's like an iPhone. An iPhone out of the box is better than a flip phone. An iPhone also can have apps that make it more powerful and effective. I'm not telling you anything new. I'm just using a simple example. Apps on an iPhone make an iPhone, not only just better than a flip phone, but like amazing. Also addictive. Don't spend your whole life on your phone. We're all trying to figure that out. But still, like, they're amazing tools. The App Store or Android, fine. If you're an Android guy or gal, you got that too. Same idea. Your Android or Google Play Store apps make your phone better. Same with WordPress. WordPress has these things called plugins that can make your site better. And Squarespace and Wix, they just dull down the back end of your site. Because guess what? Plugins can also break. Apps on your phone have to be updated. We're all pretty religious about updating apps on our phone, or we set it to automatically happen. But like, if you build a WordPress site and you don't ever update your plugins or the WordPress theme or WordPress itself, sites on WordPress can break and become outdated. You've got to actively manage them. But if you build a WordPress site just out of the box, that's like an iPhone. If you then do a lot of plugin stuff on the back end to increase the site speed, conversion, performance, content, syncing and speaking with Google, it gets even better. So if you don't have your site on WordPress, you can't really engage with this first algorithmic option. Does that make sense? You can't do on-page SEO elements if you don't have a WordPress site. Now, there's exceptions. Some of you are like, hey, there's other website builders than WordPress that are powerful. And the answer is yes, there are. I just like WordPress the best, and that's the most commonly used one. And so I'm using it as an example to contrast site builders like WordPress with cheap, easy, good design, but not powerful website builders. Not all websites are created equal. Just having a website doesn't mean you're checking the box here. Number two, I use both hands. Number two, organic user behavior. How people do click on your site helps you rank. Is that enough? You guys want more on that? Do they visit more than one page on your site? Do they linger? How much time do they spend? Do they click this or that or the other? Do you have videos to keep them engaged? There's a lot of factors that Google tracks on your site that helps you rank. So you want to design your site with something we call UXO, and that's user experience optimization. We'll talk about that in a second. But you want to design your site to, again, convert leads. So I'll show you some examples of our sites here in a second. That'll just highlight to you how I think at least your homepage should look. At least your homepage. If your homepage, because your homepage is like the most important part of your site. We do blogs for our clients, weekly blogs. We have service pages, about pages, contact pages, of course, all the basics. Most traffic doesn't visit anything but the homepage. I think you would expect that, but you've got about 7 seconds to get someone who visits your site to do something. And if you don't have a clear plan of attack for what you want a website user to do, they'll bounce right off your site. That's your bounce rate. But your bounce rate matters as it relates to ranking on Google. So let's do 3 things. 3 things for your website. I got 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to the Google Maps section. We're going to talk about that. I've already mentioned this. Not all websites are created equal. Your site has to be able to connect with Google Search Console, Google Analytics. You've got to be able to do some keyword targeting on the back end of your site. Good looks does not equal performance. I've seen hundreds of good-looking sites that are, prospective clients. Some of them become clients, some of them don't. People I talk to and do consultations with, I've seen hundreds of websites that look fine. And the person is wondering, why isn't it working? And it has nothing to do with how it looks. You've got to understand that. That's for a competitive space, right? Ranking on page 1 of Google is not an accident, and it's great when it happens, but that's why you invest in marketing. You invest in marketing not just to have a good-looking website, but to have a website that's designed to rank. Okay, that's thing number 1. Thing number 2, content really, 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 really matters. So this is a bit of AI. I didn't say that we're going to talk about AI today. I don't think we did, at least in our emails or on the webinar registration page. But guess what? One of the problems is right now that we're addressing with websites. AI. It's only a problem if you are a digital marketing agency or you're a website builder. Like, let's say you guys, you build a website for yourself. Guess what you can do right now? Get on ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT to write you a page on your bookkeeping service, your tax planning service, your tax preparation service, your blah, 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 blah service. You can have ChatGPT write full-blown pages of content for your site that you can then copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. That is a problem. It's a problem. Google is flagging AI-generated content. That's one thing. They also, another angle with content, they don't like duplicated content. So if you're working with a website provider, vendor, who has the exact same website content for hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of customers, and usually the cheaper the service, the more likely it is that there's thousands of people with the exact same website you have. Oh, Google doesn't like that. Again, we're trying to make Google like you. We're trying to make the Google gods in Silicon Valley like you and not someone else. So the content on your site actually matters a lot. Google is evaluating the content on your site. So are your pages keyword optimized? Do you have regular, fresh, new blog posts on relevant topics? Uniqueness matters. I'm going to talk to you about EAT before we move on. EAT, E-A-T, EAT. Expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. That's content, a rubric for content evaluation. Expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness. That's what you're going for. You want content that establishes to Google you're an expert, you have authority, and you're trustworthy. AI-generated content doesn't check those boxes. AI-generated content can spark your imagination. It can break through writer's block. And I'm kind of pretending like you're going to do this yourself. So if you want to do this yourself, like you can use ChatGPT to like get you going, give you some ideas, but you should never copy and paste AI-generated content, and you should never use duplicated content. And so that takes time. Guess what? One of the hardest things in digital marketing is to do? Copywriting. Some digital marketing agencies, they're not industry specific. And so there's some great ones out there. Oh my gosh, there's some ninja digital marketers out there. But if they have 10 clients, they're in 10 different spaces. And they've got great copywriters, but you're going to pay an arm and a leg to get them to build a website for you, because that copywriter then has to write tens of new pages, maybe hundreds of new pages for you, including your blogs on a weekly basis. It takes time to write copy, good content. That's one of the reasons why digital marketing can be expensive. And that's, again, one of the cost savings with working with us is we're only in the tax and accounting space. So we do things at a higher level because we care about expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. And we only write for this space. All of our clients generally are different. We have some big buckets of like, we have some people that want individual tax prep and tax planning, small business tax and accounting, small business advisory, and tax resolution. So like those are 4 different content streams that we write blogs on, emails on, social media content. Again, individual tax prep, tax planning, small business tax and accounting, small business advisory, and tax resolution. But we do that different content and then personalize it to our clients through our process, because content on your website helps with power. That's why we do it. Okay. I've already mentioned UXO. You've got to optimize your website for engagement. So you guys know newspapers. I've never had a newspaper subscription myself, but we used to get the newspaper. I'm from the 1900s. I am from the 1900s, which is kind of fun to say. I heard a comedian say that the other day, and I thought it was hilarious. So I'm from the 1900s. I remember newspapers. Who gets newspapers now? Maybe some of you, maybe none of you. But with newspapers, there's this above the fold section. Tries to throw the newspaper, hits your house, breaks a light. I don't know if that's ever happened to anyone, but I bet it has. And then it just comes folded. So that above the fold section, of course, is the main headline. The first thing you see matters a lot in newspaper land. Matters on your site in the same way that you want this section to clearly articulate with your title and your call to action what you want someone to do, and they know they're in the right place. So there's a lot of other content beneath this, and I've got service pages, a blog, resource pages. I got all that too. Most people just need to know on your homepage if they're in the right place. And so why not start to pre-qualify them? So this is down to engagement, right? We've got awareness and then engagement and subscription. This is engagement subscription. Your user experience on your site is how you get people to engage. Most of you have a contact form, call us now, discovery session, and it goes to a contact form with a name field, an email field, a phone number field, a what's your message field. No one does that. No one does that. And if they do that, I mean, that's the exception. But they want to tell you their problem. Your leads, if they're on your site at all, which is, again, the traffic problem. If you're getting traffic from real leads, they want to tell you their problem, but you don't ask them, so they don't tell you. That's a design problem that goes in, again, to engagement and subscription. That's a conversation for another day. But when people do engage on your site and they click around, it helps you rank. Got it? That's all we're going to say about that for today. Here's another example. Do you need help with income tax strategy, business tax strategy, or other? Or I could say, do you owe the IRS money? How many years? What's the amount? Is it state and federal? Do you own a business? I could ask any question here, probably 5 to 7, and then get their name, email, and phone number. People fill this out for our customers all the time. Every day, I get notifications for our clients on new lead, new lead, new lead. And again, way down the funnel, we give them a sales pipeline so that they can know where their leads are, see the data, see the answers. I give them a CRM, billing, invoicing, proposals. Like that's all a part of what we do for our clients as well. In addition to weekly emails, anyone that fills out this form on a client site that we've built, they get an automated email campaign, just a standard, hey, thanks for filling out the form on our site. We've got your info, but then we produce weekly content for our clients. That's a conversation for another day. But that's, again, back to this relationship journey. You've got to do something with your leads when you get them, but you got to get them first. So we're talking about how to get those leads today, but just know there's more to it than that. Okay, with the time remaining, and I've got about 17 minutes, I'm going to go a little bit fast. Here's the factors to rank in the map section, but this is the 3 businesses that will show up in the map. There's only 3. They've played with 5. They've played with 2. Right now, and probably for the foreseeable future, there are 3 businesses that show up here. And this section has a phone number you can call when you're on a mobile device. I did this from a desktop so you don't see it. A website to click, and then directions to get. You don't have to have a physical address to have this page. Oh, and this is helpful. Business.google.com. That's where you go to get access to this profile. So if you don't have this page, you can go get it for free. You can pay me to build it too and optimize it, because optimization is going to be a big part of this section on how to rank in this area. Having a profile is not enough. Having a few reviews is not enough. There's a lot of things, just like on your website, on the back end of this page, you can do that make a difference. Okay, so let's talk about those things. The back end elements to what was called your Google My Business page, it's now called Google Business Profile. They changed the name. I don't know why, but they did. It's the same thing. Google My Business and Google Business Profile, the same thing. Got it? Lots of people have been confused about this, and rightfully so. Don't know why they changed the name, but they did. The elements of your profile on Google for your local business matter a lot. Point number 2 is Google reviews. Point number 3 is proximity of searcher to the place of business, because this is local. The more densely populated city you're in, the more narrow your search radius is. If you're in a more rural context, your search radius can be 10 miles or 15 miles. But if you're in downtown New York City, it's probably a quarter of a mile to half a mile. But there's about 1 million people in that quarter of a mile or half a mile. And part of that's traffic. Google doesn't think that if I'm looking for a restaurant in New York City, even if the best restaurant in New York City is 3 miles away, that might be an hour in a cab or 40 minutes on the subway. I mean, I don't know. I'm not from New York City. I'm just sorry if you're from New York City and you're offended. You're like, this guy doesn't know anything about New York. You're right. I'm caught. I don't. But you get the idea that, like, the denser the city is, the more tight your search radius is. And so you can't change that, but you can change these. You can change these. So that's what we're going to talk about. And notice that in both algorithms that we've talked about today, Google My Business Elements and Google Reviews show up in both. Let's talk about those though. Similar to your website, shocking. The back end optimization matters, a whole dang lot, and no one knows this. This is a profile for local businesses from Google. Do you think their algorithm is trying to figure out all the little levers you pull on the back of your profile and how you pulled them, or if you didn't? Yes, they are. Everything on the back end of your profile matters, but you probably don't know what you should do. All I'm trying to tell you is all of it matters. All of it. The businesses that pull every relevant lever in the proper and complete way perform better. Content. You can post content to this profile too. Probably about 0 of you know that. And if you do, man, you're the exception. Just like your Facebook page, you can post content to Google Business Profile. Is that content ever going to get you a new lead? No, doesn't matter. It's one more algorithmic signal you can send to Google. Here's another big idea. Everything about Google's algorithm is sending signals. I don't know if Morse code or like a lighthouse is a good example. It's probably not, but like every little beep from the Morse code button or every little spin of the lighthouse that's flashing out to sea is good for you. Maybe this analogy breaks down really fast, but just go with it. Every little thing you can do to send Google another little beep or another little, hey, I'm doing stuff. They're watching, and it matters. This is the first factor. Google My Business Elements is the first factor for ranking in the map section. It matters a lot. Here's some of the factors that you can have: services and products, reviews and address, photos and reviews again, and categories and content and a description. Reviews. Everything else being equal. This is usually the only reason someone shows up on page 1 of Google in our industry in any given market. Competitor X has more reviews than competitor Y. That's it. Their websites both are terrible. They don't have good UXO. They don't have all the back-end elements optimized on their site or Google. So then it just comes down to reviews. Now, again, if you fix your website and you do everything else, there's a lot of competitive advantages, but reviews matter a whole lot to Google. And so why do reviews matter? They matter because Google's trying to show the best results possible. And so frequent, recent, highly rated and reviewed businesses to Google is like, well, I guess that's probably the best place to go. The best restaurant, the best CPA, the best plumber, the best electrician, any local service business. Reviews matter a lot, but let me walk through those things again. Frequency. How frequently you're getting new reviews matters. Recency. When was your last review? Was it 2 years ago? That doesn't count, even if you've got 100. If your last review is 2 years ago, someone with 10 new reviews could outrank you. That's very true. Happens all the time. Your star rating matters. The content in the reviews matters. Have a plan to get reviews and don't think about it. Make it easy to get your happy clients to leave you feedback. And don't be afraid of negative reviews. Again, you've got happy clients. That's the hardest part of getting a new review, having a happy customer. Just asking them is the thing that we bring to the table. This is, again, a system to help you scale. We have a review generation and reputation management system. Review generation is getting the review. Reputation management is responding to the review. Responding to your clients' reviews as a business owner algorithmically also matters, period. 48% of businesses won't or will consider a business with fewer than 4 stars. Sorry. So basically 52% of consumers need you to have 4 stars or more. 12% will need you to have 5-star perfect rating. Don't worry about them. Perfection is not the goal. 86% of consumers look at reviews only in the last 3 months. 73% only in the last month, 50% only in the last 2 weeks. Back to recency and frequency. This is data from our friends at Bright Local. It matters a lot. If I'm in Omaha, which I'm not, if I'm in Omaha and I type in Omaha CPA, who am I going to pick? Probably the guy with more reviews who also has a little review snippet showing up I would recommend him and his team to anyone in the Omaha area. I think, again, 29 reviews can be improved on. It's just an example to illustrate the point. Reviews and frequency and recency matters and is rewarded by Google with extra little freebies like highlighting a snippet of your review. We give our clients a system to get reviews. Your clients click an email or a text from the system we send, and this is where they're at. 5 stars, leave their experience, and add post. Don't do review gating. Review gating is fairly popular, where if they put 4 or 5 stars, they get to post a review. But if it's 3 stars or less, you make them send you an email of like, oh, sorry, why are you not happy? Google doesn't like that. So don't do that. I know that's a little more risky, but don't be afraid of bad reviews. Just don't. Trust me. If you get a bad review, whether it's deserved or not, and you respond like an adult, people see right through that. And if you're getting lots of fresh, new 5-star reviews, it doesn't matter. Perfection is not the goal. Just getting new reviews. Don't use your Google business profile to target the whole continental United States. So Google, I don't know why they let you do this, but if you don't have a physical address, you can check a box that basically says, I don't have a physical address. And then you tell Google what area you serve, and they'll let you target the whole United States. It doesn't work like that. It breaks your profile and no one finds it. I just signed someone up yesterday. It was yesterday. Man, I'm losing track of time. A gal I signed up yesterday, this is her problem. Her Google business profile had a big triangle type shape, polygon around Alaska, Hawaii, and the lower 48. And it's like, it doesn't show up anywhere and it breaks your page. Don't do that. When you rank on Google, in the map section, you get calls, you get engagement, you get found. Big cities, small cities, CPAs, bookkeepers, tax preparers, tax planners, all of it in between. You get results when you rank on Google because people use Google to try and find you. That's why this matters. So again, if you want to see like interviews with clients or industry professionals, we've got a podcast and we've got these things called office hours that are on the members area of TaxProMarketer.com. Hey, we do this for people. I'm the easy button. If you push go with me, I'm going to take all this off your plate and all the things we didn't talk about today, email, social media content, yada, yada, yada. That's my job. My job is to easy button this so that you grow. Marketing is an investment, not a cost. It is a cost, but it should be in the lens of an investment. Because if you're spending money on marketing that doesn't get you new leads, I just don't think that's worth it. I don't think that's worth it. There was a third thing about your website that I didn't mention, which is the practice management side of it, right? There is a practice management side to like, I need a portal and I need my forms on my site and I need this. Like that's true too. And we can, whatever, you can have all that on your site. It's not mutually exclusive to do both. It's just that almost every website I deal with only is focused on practice management. That stuff's easy to keep. It's easy to keep forms and appointment scheduling and billing links and client portal login. That's great. You do whatever you want. I've got a system to help you process payment. You don't need to use mine though. That's fine. I don't want to change how your practice works. I just want to add at a minimum the digital marketing elements that are missing from your ecosystem right now. And a lot of you it is. So that's what we'll cover on your calls. What's missing from your digital marketing ecosystem? And anyone else that wants to talk about that, please, taxproleads.com. We're here to serve you guys. So anything we can do to help, Christian at taxpromarketer.com. And guys, we'll catch you next time. And I'm gonna leave it there.